Alright friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. So today it's been actually raining and very windy and cold. It's been almost like 65. You can see the palm trees are blowing. It's been much more windier than this. It's actually settled down a little bit, but you can definitely see some clouds are in the air. I just let the dogs out. There's Pumpkin, and I'm really excited because I have some little tiny squash that are coming up. Can you guys see right there? There's a little squash. They're all throughout my garden here. And yeah, here's some flowers. Yeah, it's awesome. I wanted to come and check on these because I knew with the wind and the rain that there might be some breakage, and this is what I always worry about during this time of year. Oh yeah, look, there's a little one right there. You can see it coming in. Little squash. Oh yeah, see, a stick fell right in here. And that is not what you want to see. You don't want your leaves and stuff to be broken up. That's a massive stick from this big tree. Sweet girl. All right, so I went this weekend to try to get some of my berries off of my plants. As you guys can see, they're starting to come in. I would actually have quite a bit more. I usually get 2 or 3 gallons of mulberries off of my mulberry plant, but unfortunately the crows have been absolutely just destroying this plant, and there's been some other little birds that have been coming over here and eating, which I honestly, I don't mind feeding Mother Earth, but at the same time Mother Earth needs to leave me a little bit too, so that we can have this, because we are very dependent on our mulberry. As y'all know, I was just making my fiance a smoothie the other day, and we were using some of the mulberries from last year. Like I said, this tree for me, even when I share with wildlife, it can produce easily 2 to 3 gallons of mulberries. And so it's definitely kind of a bummer this year, because I've been having to really try to stand on top of this and get these mulberries off. I think that the crows, now that I've seen this and witnessed this happen, we kept trying to keep the crows off of it. I think that's maybe what got into my grapes, and my grapes have come in full bloom. There's little grape pods all over, and it's been exciting to see this come back. My fiance thought it had died with the frost we just had, but it definitely it didn't. Today though, what I want to share with you guys is that we're going to continue doing our outdoor growing. That is not going to stop for us because it is seasonal, and so I can grow things outside like carrots and radishes and a lot of root crop vegetables that I could not potentially grow inside, because what we've done is we've moved forward with the garden tower. I will show you guys the box so that you guys know the brand specifically that I purchased, and I'm going to walk you through that and show you what we've done. All right, so as you guys can see, we have purchased the tower garden. This is the LED light set that comes with it because we're going to be growing inside, and this is the giant box that it comes in, the garden tower. Now what happened is I thought I purchased the in-home kitchen version, so to speak. Unfortunately, I purchased, of course, the Big Mac Daddy. I purchased the 20-gallon indoor outdoor grow tower. The reason that I did this was for a couple of reasons. My fiance and I had talked about it. One of our biggest food purchases is lettuce. In all honesty, I eat a lot of salad during the week when I'm busy with work and stuff, and so if you look, and the brand that we normally buy is Organic Girl, Now their stuff usually comes in a plastic container, and I normally buy 3 to 4 for each week. Now I've been doing this for years now, and I started just thinking a couple of things. Was number one is there's a lot of plastic waste that is occurring when I'm purchasing that, and number two, it is one of the bigger items that we buy. Organic Girl here at our local Sprouts is running a little over $6 a container. So you multiply that through your monthly bill, and that's gonna add up. We also get almost cucumbers every week at the store. And because those two items are more of a cool season crop and it gets really warm here, I figured that the grow tower itself would eventually pay itself off if I started, instead of having to buy those products at the store, being able to grow them. The other thing that happened was too, that kind of like made me be like, no, we're just gonna move forward with the grow tower, was I placed my order online and through Sprouts for a lot of my groceries, because I am busy and work 2 jobs. I went to order it from Sprouts, and they didn't have any organic lettuce of any kind, and I thought that was really strange. So I went back and checked again a day later, and they still did not have any organic lettuce, and I thought, well, that's weird. So Amazon here delivers groceries for us, and I do use the 365 Whole Foods app, and we have a Whole Foods near us as well. And so we went to get the Whole Foods you know, lettuce, Organic Girl, and they were also out. And so it wasn't just that company. I was looking for basically any lettuce the entire week. Both stores that I tried to purchase from, and even through the Amazon itself, because Amazon has a tendency to deliver outside of what the Whole Foods will deliver. And then of course Sprouts is like independent, and they'll just deliver as well. So long story short, I thought, no, this isn't gonna happen. If the store doesn't have what I need, this could be something that could be coming down the pike for our future. And it just got me thinking that lettuce is, you know, a big thing that we consume. And I know a lot of people will be like, you bought this giant thing just for lettuce. You all know that my goal is to technically kind of eliminate the grocery store as much as possible. And because this grow tower is going to be inside my home, it's going to give me more of an opportunity to have like that controlled environment. The downside to the grow tower I'm finding so far, that I'm thinking this all through, is that if I want to grow something like squash or something that might be a more seasonal type item, I'm going to have to hand pollinate. All right, so let's, you know, that's just food for thought, things for you all to be thinking about. With the lettuce, I don't have to hand pollinate. It will grow on its own. There are some steps to this process. It's not just you got the grow tower, life's good, and you can move on. I think it'll be good for my family, because I always share with my family and my friends, and they're all excited because they want to try from the grow tower. This is not an overnight growing process. It works just like regular growing, except it's in the tower. There are some tricks to this and some extra pieces that you're gonna have to buy if you're basically interested in doing a tower garden. So let me take you inside and show you how large this 20-gallon grow tower actually is. All right, here is the grow tower behind me. It is very large, as you all can see. Right now it's kind of just in a temporary little holding spot. This is a 20-gallon tank here. I did get it on wheels. I paid extra for the wheels because I wanted it to be able to be moved. I knew that we were going to be moving it. This cage right here is gonna do basically, it's gonna serve the purpose of, I have started some cucumbers, and I'm gonna let those cucumbers come out here and kind of hang on. Now it does have a light system, as you guys can see, and it comes with a timer, so I can set the timer. Now this thing gets super bright when it turns on. I am not going to turn this on. It's like the sun basically has lit up. So it does have 20 holders, and you can get a different attachment to the top, and like you can get, it's called the baby greens basically addition. So I could still buy another piece and grow additional lettuce and then put this on top. Now I am 5'3", and as you can see, this tower is basically taller than me. So it's very wide. It does take up a lot of space. It's basically taking up my walkway. I know some people will say that it doesn't take up a lot of space for them. I think it depends on the size of your house, and I definitely have like a smaller home, but this is one of my bigger rooms, and this is why it's out here currently, is because I had to set it up. My fiance actually had to help me because there were some pieces you have to like make sure. There's these metal bars that run in here, and you have to make sure that the metal bars actually align with the crisscrossing of the pockets. It's a whole scenario. The girl that I watched, the lady, she's a grown woman, her name is Stephanie, and I think it's called the cottage life or the cottage garden aeroponics or something like that. I will put her information somewhere so you guys can follow her. I had been watching her, and so she uses these all the time, except she keeps these big massive ones in her garage. After I purchased this one and got it and saw how big it is and knew that I wanted to keep it in my house, I found that they actually have one that's like not the 20-gallon tank. I think it's potentially like a 10-gallon tank, and it's a white base, not a green base. And so if you want to do something more inside, that's probably more ideal for an inside growing scenario. And in high insight, that is the one that I would have purchased as opposed to this one, because this one is just, it's got this big tank that's really more designed for outside filtration and process instead of inside. But watch her. She will explain a lot more to you than I will. This is obviously my first tower, and like I said, the purpose is for right now is being able to have some lettuce and cucumbers and things that, like, vine borers will get into my cucumbers like crazy. And I was like, listen, these are two big items for me that will constantly be rotating on this grow tower for us. All right, so now how you start this whole process. Well, friends, I bought the kit. So the kit is a little more costly. They have a 3-set one or just one. Thank God I only purchased one because I wanted to see how this worked and if this was gonna be best for me and my family. So far this is gonna be sufficient. But you have to start your seeds ahead of time, and what you start them in is a product called rock wool. Now you can buy it from a company called, I think it's Vivo Sun. I will also put that information somewhere in this video so that you can have it, and that is how you're gonna start your little seedlings. All right, so I bought this from the Vivo Sun. Oh, here it is. It's kind of upside down, but you can see it here. I have the heating mat. Now, I really haven't had to use the heating mat because I am here in Florida and it's not had to kick on. I did set it to turn on in case it needs to, but this kit comes with these grow lights already. See, they're very bright. They just sit right here. They don't snap in or anything. And then there's a ventilation system for the plants on each side of this kit. Now, your tower only holds, without the extra baby greens, only holds about 20 plants. So as you can see, I have additional space here on this side and this side because I can only fit 20 plants. So this container is actually a little big for me. Now, if I got the baby green section, I would be able to utilize more of it, and maybe that's just something that we'll invest in the future. But right now, this was not a cheap endeavor for us, and so we're just taking it step by step to see how this is gonna work. Here's what the baby greens actually look like. You can kind of see some are still struggling a little bit to pop through. But this is basically how it's gonna start. These are beautiful colors, but you have got to get them started in the rock wool first. All right, so with that being said, it gets a little tricky. So your plants are gonna sit in that Vivo Sun little grow container for about 3 to 4 weeks. And you're gonna give them, I started giving my plants nutrition after like week 2. You want to see roots all the way around those little cubes. And right now we're not even close to that. So once you see roots all the way around those little cubes, then I personally am going to be transferring them into another container for another maybe 2 weeks or so, give or take. And I have tabletop grow lights that they're gonna be growing in. After that, I will then move forward with transitioning them into the grow tower. But right now, this is all just kind of new for us. And so we're kind of learning as we go through this process. But I did want to let you guys know that this is something that we have decided to move forward with. Do I think so far that it's going to be worth the price that we paid? I don't know. I think we're going to have to circle back around to that. I think that overall for the environment, it's going to be much better because I'm not going to be using as much plastic by purchasing those lettuces and things that I constantly consume and want to keep them on a rotating basis. I have read up on these, and basically you want to keep this tower continually rolling. Now, I do understand that you are going to kind of have to gauge yourself on the rotation of when to start seeds, when to move those seeds and transition them to the tabletop, and then from the tabletop into the actual grow tower, because you don't ever want to gap in that growing of that tower. You want to keep, for it to like kind of equal out financially, you want to make sure that you're in this constant rotation of seedlings starting, transferring, moving to the tower, seedlings starting, transferring, then moving to the tower. So as soon as I kind of get the hang of this, I will definitely come back to you guys and we'll really walk through this in a little bit more detail. But I think this is really going to be great for our growing because, you know, down here we have hurricanes. Like I said, right now the temperature definitely dropped compared to this weekend. We were literally in the 90s over this past weekend. And now this week, we are currently, like, it's been in the 60s. Like, this morning, technically, when I got up, it was in the 50s. And it hasn't really, I mean, just when I started coming home this afternoon from work, it literally just hit, like, 69, 70. And that's when I was in my car. So that's why I said, like, weather here can definitely take a turn. And like I said, we also have hurricanes. And so this is a more regulated tower for us. So that way, sadly, if my beautiful squash got ripped up and I wanted to grow some squash in that grow tower, I technically could. Now, I would probably cut off a lot of the leaves just because they wouldn't necessarily be required. And I'd have to probably put it in a specific spot to kind of regulate it. But I think for things like lettuce and like romaine lettuce especially, or like cabbages that are like a lot of the Asian cabbages are very like tall, I think that would work very well in these grow towers, and that's something that I definitely consume. We do a lot of juicing. As you guys know, we just got finished with a lot of the bok choy. Technically, I still have some bok choy out in the garden, and we've been juicing bok choy and eating from the garden as much as we can and juicing a lot just to keep our system natural and healthy. And so I think that it's really going to serve a good purpose for us and kind of get us off the grocery store and needing that dependency. So that is it for today, friends. It's just the excitement of having the opportunity to have this grow tower, and we're really going to see how this works out for us. And I'm really having high hopes for it. I think it's going to be wonderful. And I will link that Stephanie's channel somewhere in this video so that you guys can have it. Go check her out. I think that for people, especially that are more up north, I think this is going to be wonderful because, like, even for us, like I said, we're going to be able to grow outside. And if something happened environmentally, we would still be able to eat from our grow tower. So I think it's a combination. I think we're really reaching that point in our growing life here for the two of us that I still have plenty to share. We're able to juice. I have all my beds outside. I've really kind of got my, I've got my bananas and my mulberries and the key limes and things that we like to consume, and my pineapples, and I've got the grapes over here, and I've got tomatoes in the ground right now. I still have my mint producing so much. I've my freedom blackberries are starting to come in, and that's what I'm saying, like, we're always getting a little something from the garden. And for the last couple of weeks or so, we've really had minimal purchases at the store. The things we've had to buy have had to be like our eggs and our meats, because that's not something here in my type of neighborhood that I can actually have. So unfortunately, that is the downside to where we live. But there's a lot of beautiful benefits to where we are, and we are blessed by God to have what we have and to be where we are right now. I definitely think that we are in a time of spiritual warfare, and you know what, if you can help your neighbor or your family and love on them in a way that provides them with something that they need, like food, I think that now is the time to be doing that and investing in that, not only for yourself, for the health of yourself, but for the health of your family. Encourage them to be growing and producing. That is really what this channel is about, because remember, in order to have really good mental health, you've got to be feeding your body good nutrients and just getting that good vibe and just energy into your system. And that's what I'm all about. So it's a holistic approach. Mental health is not just about talking out your, concerns and matters. It's also an internal process, is you want to be as healthy as you possibly can be. And you want to have good gut health. You want to be doing your prebiotics and probiotics and making your yogurts, and all these videos that I've posted prior to this are leading us up to this point, so that way we have just overall good health. And that's what it's about, friends. So until next time, love one another, be kind, and I can't wait to bring you guys back and show you where we are with our new grow tower. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today.